We're good.
Okay, sorry about that. So this is our second pool school. We're excited to have Jaden with us again, our partner. One thing just quickly about the Billiard Factory, we are doing our best to enable family and friends to spend time together, and shooting pool and is a great way to get to know each other and spend time, especially at these crazy times that we're in right now. So Jaden, if you didn't get on the first video that we did, the first Zoom pool school, it was a great time. We're in for a real treat tonight. So we'll let Jaden take it from here.
Thanks, Ryan. Hey guys, I'm Jaden Dupree. I'm 17 years old. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but just recently moved to Texas, where I partnered with Billiard Factory. They got me this awesome Rasinox pool table so I can make content for you guys on my YouTube channel. Dupree Trick Shots. I have about 150,000 subscribers. So you guys that are in, if you watch me, thank you for watching me. Thank you for joining our stream. So we're gonna go ahead and start off right off the bat with some giveaways for you guys. We got some gloves to give away for you guys. We got this super awesome wheel that can decide who the lucky winner is. So I'm gonna leave my camera so I can see who wins as well. And here we go. We got a lot of names on there. And there's Sandra Hillary. Congratulations, Sandra Hillary. We'll be getting your glove out soon. Now, on these gloves, we're a bit limited in sizes, but we try to accommodate the best that we can. We have another glove to give away again right at the start.
It's tied it. What inning?
Now someone's got another base hit. They're
Thank you, Jack. Congratulations to you. You are the winner of the second Q-Tech Axis pool glove. So we'll be getting your glove out to you shortly. You'll be receiving an email. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. That was a pun that was not intended. So, jump shots. Everyone loves to watch them. And I have a couple jump shots that you can practice on your own. You can try these in a real game if you'd like, but it's not really the best option. Only this first one would probably be the best one. So everyone knows jump shots. Jump shots, you jump over something, the ball goes over it, hits another ball, goes in, or just goes in the pocket in this case. But a lot of people only just stick to jump shots like that or like this, and I think that's kind of boring. Sorry to you guys that do that, but I just think it's kind of boring. So you can try different things. You can go behind the back. You can, if they allow you to put your leg on the table, go up like that. If you're feeling really fancy, you can try going with one hand, and then it comes back to you, and then you put it back where it was, and you do it again. And this one, this is probably my hardest one because I suck at coordination with my left hand. But we can go ahead and try that one, and there we go. So that was a bit of fun that you can just do. They're super easy to practice. Just jack up the cue just a little bit. I am playing with a different cue. This is a jump cue. It's a bit lighter. The tip is a bit flatter. And it just helps propel the ball off the table. And so we're going to move on to something that you can use a bit more in a real game. That's also considered somewhat of a trick. So game of bank pool, you have to bank the ball in order for it to count. And it cannot hit any other balls on its way in. Now this is a bit of a difficult one to learn at first, but it's all about just getting it down, and it varies from table to table. But the idea is to bank this 14 ball into this pocket right here. And what you can do is when you bank a ball into a rail and it goes into another rail, with enough spin, you can actually get it to reverse and go back into this rail and head over towards this side pocket. And I think that's, Ryan, I think you're unmuted on the stream. Just letting you know. So if you aim just a bit to the left, and I'm using bottom left spin, and you really got to hit this one hard. It's not an easy shot by any means, but you go bottom left spin, really whack at it, and in bank pull, that will not count. So we're going to give it a few more tries. And that one there looks good, right in the middle of the pocket. So that's a fun trick shot that you can just show to your friends, because some people don't believe that a ball can just reverse off of a rail like that. But we're going to move on to some drills for you guys to improve your normal everyday game. So let me just get this out of the way. I'll put that over there for now. So a lot of people want to make balls in the game. That's the purpose of the game. If you don't make the ball, nothing else really matters. So we're going to go over some ball pocketing drills that will really, really help you with your game. And the number one thing I do before I start a ball pocketing drill, I'm not going to run through all of these, don't worry, but just throw random balls out there. Don't care about position. Just start hitting balls to get your arm in the motion. And the best thing to do is just record in your mind what shots you're playing good, what shots you're playing bad. So if I were to go around and I were to shoot this 2 ball up there and I miss it, what you want to do, forget about the rest of the balls. Take them, and you want to set them up to mimic pretty much that exact same shot, and you want to just shoot this over and over and over again until you feel comfortable with it. Now, this just happens to be one of my worst shots, so I have to do this quite often when I find myself missing these. Like, I usually miss them like that. And I'm going to give you a quick tip to show you why you're missing like that. Now, normally people, when you're shooting a shot into the side pocket, something like this, you're aiming for the pocket. And that's totally fine in this case, and that's what a lot of people think. You want to aim for the pocket. But if you're aiming for the pocket with a shot like this, the back of the pocket is right there. So the line's going to bring you into this rail if you're actually aiming for the pocket. What you want to do is you want to aim for the opening of the pocket. And you might mess up and overcut some, overthink. But if you just keep shooting these and keep in mind that you're aiming for the back, for the opening of the pocket instead of the back of the pocket, you can shoot these all day long. And you can do this with any shot. So many shots are actually like this. Shots like this, you normally see people hit them too thick and it comes into the rail. Again, it's because they're aiming towards the back of the pocket, and that'll take you right into here. You miss the ball by a whole diamond. So, practice the shots that you're the worst at. I know it doesn't sound very fun to do, but that's really what's going to make you a better player. So, ball pocketing is all good. Everything's cool about ball pocketing, but if you make one ball and then you can't shoot the next one, what's the point? Really. So, another thing you want to do is practice your position skills. So again, you can throw balls out on the table and find those shots you're bad at. I overhit that one, and then you can shoot that one over and over again like I did with that shot to the corner pocket. But to make it a bit more fun, you can set the balls up in fun little patterns. So this is one that I do quite often, and I'm still not really good at this drill. So I definitely need to shoot it a lot more. But it's one that I think really, really, really helps. So you set a ball away from each diamond, on opposite rails, just like this. And you start with this ball, and then you go to this one, 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 and then you go to this one. So, I'm not going to shoot this whole drill, but if you do something like that, then you start over. And this is one of the most tedious drills. It looks very simple, and it probably should be, but again, these are my worst shots and my worst position play, like combined in one. So this one is really good for me to work on before I play a big match, because if I'm clearing this, then I know I'm playing pretty well for my game. And you can shoot these however position you like, just the cue ball is not allowed to hit another ball. So if this cue ball were to come off of that 6 and hit the 8, then that would not count. You have to restart the drill. So this is a really fun drill that you can do. And then also another thing that's super helpful, and this is more for ball pocketing, is shooting with these little rubber things. These little green rubber things. And what you do, they're called pocket reducers. What you do is you put them in the pocket, and it reduces the pocket. Such a great name, whoever came up with that. Oh, it just snapped on me. It doesn't break though, you can just put it right back in. But whoever came up with that name, great job to him. I'm gonna try to not get this to snap. These pockets are already pretty small. There we go. So what this does, it has little rubber points that reduce the pocket by about 1 inch. So you can see even straight in shots on this are definitely not going to be a gimme. And what you can do is you can just set up shots, shoot like this. And what I do, you see that? You see how it just rattled out when it looks like it goes right to the back of the pocket? It's really frustrating, but I promise you, you play with these for a week, your game is on a whole new level. You're going to be super frustrated when you're playing with them, but when you take them out, the game is so much easier. So we're going to jump into another giveaway here. We got another Cusack Axis glove to get rid of off of our hands. So if we can get our magic wheel back up there. All right. And Nathan Paladar, congratulations to you. We'll be getting your glove out very soon. You'll be getting an email from our awesome IT guy running the stream today, Ken. So the next drill that I want to show you is more of a game. It's a pretty fun game. If you like playing pool, which I think all of you probably do. So we're going to get out 9 balls and rack them like a game of 9-ball. And now, when you're a lower level player, I'm not a professional player. My ball pocketing is not up there with the pros. I miss easy shots. I miss a ton of shots. So when you're playing, it's good to play percentages. So if you think you're less than 50% to make a shot, then don't shoot that shot. Play safe. So it's easier, in my opinion, to improve your safety game quickly than it is to improve your ball pocketing super quickly. Because ball pocketing just takes repetition and repetition, and safety play just takes doing something one time, and then you're like, wow, that's a new shot that I've never done before. So you rack like 9-ball, and you break real soft, and the goal is not to make any balls, but to only hide the cue ball from the 1 ball. So you see with that break, I'm not allowed to hit that 1 ball. This also improves your kicking game, because you're supposed to kick at the ball in between, but just for video purposes, I'm going to take ball in hand. So you can just play safety shots, get better at them, find new ones, shots like that are just dead impossible to get out of. You can try shots like this, where you just roll the ball up And this really, really improves your safety game because you'll find shots that you didn't know before. And these are definitely shots that come up in games. Obviously, it's not going to be super clustered like this unless whoever you're playing with has a terrible break. But this will definitely improve your game. And as you kick at balls, you will miss some balls. It's inevitable because you're not actually, the game doesn't end until you just decide to end. So the balls will get spread out, safeties will get harder, and you'll have to be more creative with your shots. This is where trick shots really comes into play for me because trick shots have helped me learn how to maneuver the cue ball, and I can put it where I want it with some crazy type of spin. But this is a really, really great game to improve your defensive strategy in the game. And we should have another Q-Tech Axis glove to give away to you guys. So another time, our magic wheel. And James, congratulations to you. Dan will be getting your glove out very, very soon. Make sure you're checking your email. So I've got one more little game to show you. And if you were on our pool school last week, you already know this game. But it's just such a fun game that I want to make sure that everybody knows it. Super underplayed. People will look at you weird if you play this game in a pool hall. I have personal experience. People come up and ask you what you're doing, why are you doing this? But it is how the Russians play pool. Popular Russian game called Russian Pyramid. The rules for an American pool table are a bit different, and you can kind of make them up as you go because this is not like a tournament game that exists outside of Russia. So what you can do is the goal of the game is to hit a ball off the cue ball and make the ball that you hit first. So it's kind of like intentionally scratching, and people would ask why, and also I'm not the best at this game either. So this is just a fun game where you want to practice, but you also want to have a bit of fun when you're playing. You can try some crazy shots if you want. But people ask, why would you want to practice scratching? It sounds so dumb, doesn't it? But the thing is, if you know how to do something, then you usually know how not to do something. So this really helps with your position playing, and it helps with avoiding scratches in 9-ball or 10-ball or 8-ball or whatever game you're playing. This really helps avoiding scratches. And there's a bit of strategy behind it too. So I'll show you one final shot, and this is a shot that you can use if you're playing pool with some friends, and you can say, hey man, I bet you a quarter that I can make this 5-ball without touching any of these balls. And it looks impossible. You can put a ball literally right next to it just to take away that kick. You can set it up as impossible as you want, but there is a little trick behind it that not a lot of people will see coming. So what you can do is you can aim towards this pocket, but barely missing it to the left, putting on a bit of right spin. Really doesn't matter. This is the amount of spin you put on this ball does not make or break this shot. What matters is you just want cue ball somewhere in this area. So what you can do, hey, I bet you $5 I can make this 5-ball without hitting any of these balls. Say, okay. So you line up to shoot it, and you set your cue down, and you just become a con artist in a pool hall. And now no one will play with you ever again. So only do that with people you know, or some people might get mad at you. But that's all of the trick shots and some drills that I have for you guys today. I understand we have some questions, so we're going to open up the Q&A. I'll get my chair back here. So I'm going to check out this Q&A. So what's the best part of playing pool? There's so many parts of playing pool. I think the best part of playing pool is it's kind of a unique thing that not a lot of people do. It's not very common to say, hey, I'm a pool player. So we all have that little unique thing, and we can introduce new people to the game and find people that really like the game, and that's a really fun thing to do, just to introduce people to new stuff. And not a question, but a comment. That is awesome. I'm gonna do that trick shot tonight. Awesome, man. How do you get good action draw? So first, you want to make sure that your cue is properly chalked. That's a very, very, very important part of this. Also, the table you're playing on and the felt really affects, not so much the table, but the actual cloth on the table affects the amount of draw you'll get. If the cloth is slick and kind of thin, you'll get more. But if it's the super thick, slow cloth, you really won't get much action on the cue ball. And also, if you're playing with a house cue, like a $10 cue at the pool hall, you won't get that much action on it either. But to get the most action you can out of it, you want to try to hit as low as possible without scooping the ball. So that would be scooping the ball, and that's actually a foul. It's illegal. You cannot do that. You can do it accidentally, but don't try that for a jump shot. You can't do that. But make sure your tip is chalked up. The idea is to have as level of a cue as possible. You don't want it to be jacked up, because if it's jacked up, we saw that little hop and we barely got any drawback. So the time the cue ball is in the air, it's actually spinning backwards, and that's just wasting the spin on the ball. So set it up for whatever draw shot you're shooting. And you want to get as level as a cue as possible while you're on the ground. And you also want to have a pretty loose wrist. If you choke up on it, you can actually mess up and follow the ball. A lot of people don't know that, but there is a way to make the ball go forward while hitting below center on the cue ball. So if you're hitting just barely below center, you got a tight grip, the cue ball can actually go forward if you stroke it wrong. So keep a light wrist. I only use 2 fingers and my thumb, really, and these other fingers are just kind of there. So you just get down, level cue. And you want to keep your head down and really follow through on the cue ball. Really push through it. And there you have a good draw stroke. Took it about 3 rails. Pretty good. I'd say that'd get me where I need to go. Another super tough thing you can do to practice your draw shots. This is kind of extreme. Pretty hard. So you can make it easier by moving the balls closer together, or any way you can find to make it easier. But it's a fantastic thing if you can do this. You want to set up a dead straight in shot, which is hard enough to make in the first place. And get down, especially if you have long hair that covers your eyes. And you want to try to draw the cue ball back into the pocket. That'll prove that you have a straight stroke and your draw stroke's good, so you can shoot that shot over and over again and try to make that. So I'm going to check out some more comments. What width of the Q-tip is that you use? Use a 9mm Q, Australia or pockets are smaller. So I'm not exactly sure how thick this or how wide this Q-tip is. I don't really pay a lot of attention to the actual dimensions of the cue. Like, I like a light cue, but I don't care if it's a specific weight, or I don't care if the tip is bigger or if it's smaller, if it's shorter. I don't really pay attention to all that thing. All
I
those
think that
things-
cue comes with a 13 millimeter tip.
It's a 13 millimeter.
So
So
that piece, yeah.
this one is a 13 millimeter. I didn't know that. I don't really pay attention to all of those things because if you miss a ball, it's probably not the tip. It's probably you just aimed wrong. So I think equipment definitely helps, but it doesn't make as big as a difference as people like to think it does. How do you accommodate for deflection when applying spin/English? So for those of you who don't know what deflection is, it's a really basic concept, but it's often overlooked. When you hit a ball on the right side, it goes to the left. When you hit a ball on the left side, it goes to the right. Same thing happens when you're shooting the ball. So we could have this, not to get too short. If it's a longer shot, you have dead straight in shot, and I'm fully loading up on right spin. I'm gonna miss that ball way over there because my cue ball went to the left, which caused that ball to go to the right. So what you have to do is you just have to slightly aim off, and it's really just a feel thing. This is where equipment does come into play. Different types of cues have different amounts of deflection. So carbon fiber shafts have a little bit less deflection. I find there still is some, but it has less than my old cue. So I found that out. So I had to change my game just a little bit. It's mainly a feel thing, but you want to just start with slower adjustments. When I'm aiming to the right, I want to aim a bit more to the right on the ball. And then that'll help me actually make that ball. So deflection, aim differently, it's mostly a feel thing. How do you jump the ball properly? Well, you can jump with a regular cue, it's just much harder. You can jump maybe half a ball with this, and it has to be far away. So to make that a bit easier, I use a jump cue. This is a Mez air drive. It's lighter. It's made of different wood. The tip is a bit harder since you're hitting harder on the ball and you don't really care that much about spin. If you're trying to spin the ball more, a soft tip is better. But if you're trying to just hit the ball straight, make a ball, jump a ball, break cue, it's usually going to be a harder tip. So we're going to set this up. And there's also a bit of a shot routine that you need to learn when you're doing jump shots. So you want to get down as if the blocker ball does not exist. So this 6 ball does not exist in my mind right now. You get down, you just imagine you're making that ball. Without changing your feet at all, you elevate up. Like my back toe comes up a bit, so my foot is a bit off the ground. Both feet are still on the ground, but just my toes pointed. And you aim a bit below center, and you just follow through like a normal shot. So it's good to keep everything stable. When you're shooting any shot, you want as little movement as possible. So a lot of people with the jump shot, if you see people miss a jump shot, if they didn't just hit it wrong, they could be aiming 100% correct. But what they do is they get up and do something stupid like that. They try to throw their whole body into the shot, and you really don't have to hit the ball that hard to get it to jump. The closer you are to a ball, so let's say these 2 balls are like that far away, you have to elevate more, and you can change to like a different grip. Some people like to air bridge. Sometimes that's allowed in tournaments, sometimes it's not. It's a bit less unstable because you're moving. Further away, less elevation you need, harder you need to hit. This far away, more elevation, and you can hit a bit lower on the ball, and it'll help it get more of like a pop. How to get position using vertical axis and speed. So I think what you're referring to is the tangent line. That's what I think when I hear vertical axis. So what I do, and if you don't know what a tangent line is, I'm going to use a couple cues to show you. So let's do it over here so my whole cue can fit. So if we are to hit this ball at an angle, wherever that ball is going, so let's say it goes right down the path of this cue, cue ball is going to go 90 degrees away from that. And that's only if the cue ball is sliding. And what that means is there's no spin on the cue ball. When it's going across the table, if you look at it in slow motion, it's literally not spinning at all. It's just sliding across the table. Backspin, it'd be spinning backwards. Topspin, it'd be going forwards. But sliding cue ball, it's just sliding. So with topspin, the angle would be, you'd be able to get it to roll forward, but initially it's going to follow that 90 degrees and then go forward. Backspin is going to initially follow that 90 degrees and then come backwards. So it's really just imagining, and you can walk over, check this line, see where your cue ball is going. And the speed really depends on the table. There's not a lot of good systems for speed. So our cue ball should come over here with a sliding cue ball. If we make this ball, which we didn't, but our cue ball still went over there. Still into the right spot. I missed that ball by just a little bit. I'm going to get further off the rail and move my hair a bit. And there we go. So we actually changed the shot a little bit. So around here was our 90-degree angle, and we also made the ball that time. So our angle is a bit different. With sliding cue ball, 90 degrees from the line. Thank you, Hazel. I appreciate that. What brand billiard balls do you have? So these ones right here were actually sent to me by a subscriber, and these are really cool. I'm going to show you a cool thing that you can do with these. These are pool balls from, I don't know what brand these are, but these are from way back. These are probably 40-something years old, and they're actually way lighter than normal pool balls. So pool balls have changed throughout the years. So these are super light, and what you can do with these is you can make follow shots super, super easy because the cue ball just plows through this ball. So if you were to put topspin on this ball, it goes so fast. And if you were to put backspin, you can actually end up going forward. That was backspin because the cue ball just flies through the ball. It's so light. But these normal ones right here, the ones that I normally play with, so I can actually play position, are Aramith, Super Aramith Pro Belgian billiard balls, which you can also get at billiardfactory.com. So I believe we have two more gloves to get rid of. So if we can get our wheel back up, we close this Q&A so I can see who wins. And Johnson, congratulations on winning your glove. We'll email you soon. And we have one final glove to give away. And here we go. Tracy Blevin, congratulations to you on winning our final giveaway of the night. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a blast for me. I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out Billiard Factory social media, my social media, Dupree Trick Shots. Ryan, you have anything, some closing remarks?
No, I want to just same thing. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Also remind everybody that there is a coupon, Pool School 15, that's good through Monday. If you do want to try out any of the things that he was talking about, the balls or any of that, we've got some good specials on those right now. So thanks for joining us, Jaden. Great job as always. Very inspirational, fun to watch, and always makes me want to go shoot pool when I get done watching these.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys.